Hey guys, so in this video we're looking at formulas and how to solve for a given variable. So all the same rules as we've been looking at for solving linear equations. Looking at this first example, we're trying to solve for c. The a and the b are multiplying, and so same as we saw in the previous section, we're going to use division to undo that. So I'm just going to divide both sides by ab, and so a over a would be 1, b over b would be 1, the c would be by itself, and so then my answer is ab equals C. Something about this here is one, when you're putting math in the computer, it's case sensitive. So if you see, capital A and lowercase d, you have to type that. The other thing is this bit right here. If you type d divided by ab, what you really just typed was d over a times b. If you want this stuff to stay in the denominator, you either have to put parentheses around it, or in the answer box on the homework, there's that little yellow arrow right here. Click that and you'll get the fraction template, and then you just put the d up here and the ab down there, and then it'll automatically put the parentheses where they should go. But that will kind of mess you up if you don't be aware of those parentheses. Okay, so next example, we're solving for x, and in this case we have a minus y and a plus z. And so same as we saw back in 1.2, to undo those we're going to add and subtract. So I'm just going to use opposite signs. So since I have minus y, I want to go plus y. I got plus z, so I go minus z. And then what I do to this side, I have to do to this side. So we'll go plus y and minus z. So over here I'm going to have a b plus y minus z. Y's canceled, z's canceled, and there's our x by itself. This next one we got, we're looking for c right here. So if you remember when we were doing linear equations, we wanted to do our add subtract first or multiply divide second. So for this one, I'm going to want to do the add subtract first, just like I said, which is going to be this 2b. So I'm going to take the 2b over to this side, because I'm trying to get at that c there. So that's going to give me a minus 2b equals 2c. And then we would do our multiply divide second, and that's the 2, so we'll divide that over. And then this result would be our answer. You might look at those 2's and want to start canceling. I would suggest not doing that. If you cancel the 2 here with the b, you also have to cancel it with the a, and you would get a fraction. And this answer isn't better than what you had up here, so I would suggest just leaving it right here. The next one, very similar form, but this time with some numbers in it. So we're trying to get y by itself, so I'm going to do my add subtract on the x. And then that's going to be 2y equals 14 minus 7x. I could have also written negative 7x plus 14, same thing. And then divide the 2. And there again, this is a great answer. You can just leave it right here. When we get to chapter 2, we're going to rewrite this in a different form. But for now, the concern is 2 goes into 14 7 times, but the 2 would also have to go into the 7, so that would lead to a fraction on this side. So I would just stop there. Okay, so this next one, we're trying to get y by itself. So I could just subtract the 4 over, but then I'd still have these parentheses, and I'm going to end up having to collect like terms. So I think first maybe I'll do clear the parentheses. So I'll give you 1/2 x, and then half of 6 would leave minus 3. And then this is totally good. I can just go minus 4, and y equals 1/2 x minus 7. Next one, we're trying to get y by itself. So that means I have an x that's dividing, and then this 3 that's kind of locked up in a subtraction. So I want to get this, I can't subtract the 3 with the x down there, so I kind of have to change the order I'm doing things. So I'm going to get rid of this x first on both sides. So I'm just multiplying by basically what would be x over 1, and that's so that these cancel. Now I'm left with just the y minus 3. And then to finish getting y by itself, now I'll go ahead and add the 3 over. So So then those cancel, and I am left with y equals 5 halves x plus 3. Okay, number 7. So I could clear fractions, or I could move this first, kind of either way. I think I'm going to add this over first. So I'm going to say plus 1/4 x plus 1/4 x to both sides. So over here, they'll just cancel out. Here I'm going to have the 1/5 y. And then I'm going to go the x's first, so I'll go 1/4 x and then that minus 1. So then this has this 1/5. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply both sides by 5. Because if I do 5, you can think of it as 5 over 1 on this side, if that helps. That will cancel that 5. So if I multiply this side by 5, I, of course, have to balance that out over here. So here they cancel, leaving me just the y. And this is like 5 over 1, so 5 times 1 would be 5, and 1 times 4 would be 4. So that math is really like 5 over 1 times 1 over 4. So that's how I'm getting that 5/4. And then the x, and then 5 times the minus 1 right there. And that'd be it. So these last 4 are the ones I would have you guys try in class if it's a lecture section. This one we're solving for t, so it's right there. And so again, we got kind of something adding, so whatever this chunk of stuff is, I'm just going to subtract it to the other side. So minus 16v squared, minus 16v squared. So here that'll give me x, and then minus 16v squared equals vt. And then from here, I'm looking to get t by itself, so I'll just divide both sides by v. And those cancel, and what's left here is the answer. Again, resist the urge to cancel here because you'd also have to cancel there. Solving for y, so I will move the 3x over. And so the first one I wrote the other direction, so I'll do this time. So it doesn't really matter which order we write them. And then just divide over the 4. And then what's left there is your answer. And again, if you're trying to simplify, this would be negative 3/4 x plus 3. And next chapter we're going to do that. That's going to be our y equals mx plus b. But for this section, since we don't know that yet, you're welcome to just leave it right here. Okay, and for here, I'll go ahead and distribute first. So 1/3 of 9 would leave me a 3. And then I'm just going to add the 4 over. And I have y, those canceled, equals 1/3 x plus 1. And last one, so this has that x downstairs again, so I'm going to multiply both sides by x, so I can cancel this, and that leaves me y plus 4 equals 7x, and then I can just subtract the 4. And y equals 7x minus 4. And that concludes 1.5 formulas.